Welcome guys. In this video we are going to continue with math paper 1 for the year 2023 for the internal candidates, and we are beginning from question 11. So the diagram shows two towns A and B on the equator. A is on longitude 30 degrees west and B is on longitude X. Question A, the time at B is 17:05 hours when it is 14:05 hours at A. Find the longitude X. So we want this longitude. Now the information that we have is 17:05 hours is the time at B. So this is the time at longitude B. Then 14:05 is the time for longitude A. Now, how can we find the longitude X? First, we need to find the difference in longitude. Then from that, we are going to convert that difference into hours. Now, given the difference in time, how can we use that to find the difference in longitude? So we are going to find the difference between the two times. So say 17:05 hours, we take away 14:05 hours. So 5 minus 5 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, 7 minus 4 is 3, 1 minus 1 is 0. So the time difference between A and B was 3 hours. Now, if you are changing from degrees to hours, you divide by 15. But from hours back to degree, you multiply by 3. So it's 3 times 15. So if you multiply the two numbers, you get the product of 45. So the difference in longitude was 45 degrees. So that is the angle for this is 45. Now if this is our angle for 45, given 30 degrees west, how can we find this longitude? We are going to subtract 30 from 45 so that this will give us 15 degrees east. Why do we say this? Because this 45 was the sum of the two longitudes, since one is located west and the other one is located east. So that's what you're supposed to do. So step number 1, you change, you find the difference in time. Number 2, you convert that into the degrees. Then from there, you subtract if one is located west and the other one is east. Now let's move on to question B. Under question B, a ship sailed due east from A to B at an average speed of 450 meters. Find the time it took the ship to travel from A to B. So say speed is equal to distance, over time. Speed is equal to distance over time. So according to the data, speed is given. And the question is, we want t, but distance is not given. So we need to find the distance between the 2 points A and B. Now since the speed is in knot miles, then the distance should be in, since the speed is in knots, the distance should be in knot miles. So say distance is equal to difference in longitude times 60. Now the difference in longitude is 45. Remember, we found this number. Or if you want, you can just say 30 plus 15, you get 45. Now in math paper 1 where you don't have a calculator, how can you multiply these numbers? So you just, if you have a 0 at the right end, you write the 0. So this means that this 0 is gone. So the remaining is now 6. So we are going to use now 6 to multiply by 5. So 6 times 5 is 30. So we write 0. We keep the 3. Then the second one, 6 multiplied by 4 is 24 plus the 3 that we kept. This is now 27, not comma out. So that's our answer for this one. Now we can use this triangle to remember the formulas for this one. So put d st. So if one speed is distance over time, if one distance is speed times time, if one t is distance divided by speed. So since we have 1 t is equal to so the distance is 2700 over the speed is 450. So to simplify this, we can cancel this 0, we cancel this 0. So now if you look at 27 and 45, there should be two numbers that we can multiply to give us 27 and also to give us 45. But between those two numbers there have to be one number common, which what I'm saying is 27 is same as 3 times 900. Not 9, this is only 1 0. So 90 over 45 is same as 5 times 9. So that this 9 and this 9 can cancel. So we have a 10 here. Time is equal to 30 over 5. 5 into 30 is just 6 hours. So that was the time. We move on to question 12. The functions g and h are defined by, so g of x is equal to 3x plus 1, okay, and h of x is equal to x minus 1 over 2. Now the first one, we just want the inverse of g. So step number one, replace g of x with y. Then after that, make x subject to a formula. So say 3x plus 1 is equal to, I've just rearranged so that any term without x should be shifted to one side. So this one will go to the right side, giving us 3x is equal to y minus 1. So to isolate x, we divide by 3. So x is equal to y minus 1 over 3. Then since we are done making x the substitute formula, where there is x now, you replace with g of inverse, then y, x minus 1. So you remove y and replace back x, so that is our inverse. Excuse me. Right, so we move on to question B. So question B, we just want to find the composite. We are trying to combine the two functions to make one function. So the first function is g, then h of x. So this formula simply means that the function of h will be composed into the function of g. So you first have to write the function of the outside, which is g in our case. So it's 3x plus 1. Then where there is x is where we're going to now substitute the function of h, since h is the inside function. So 3 open brackets, we have x minus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. So we can say we are done, but we just want to simplify it further. So 3 multiplied by x will give us 3x. 3 times negative 1 will give us negative 3 over 2. So the 1 is alone here. Now to simplify, we cannot say negative 3 plus 1. No, we need to combine this as a fraction. So we need to find the lowest common denominator, which is 2. 2 into 2 is 1 times 3x minus 1, which is 3x minus 1. 1. So this should be negative 3. 1 into 2 is 2 times 1 is plus 2, which is 3x. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1 over 2. So this is our final answer. Now question C, we are trying to find the value of x if g of x is equal to 22. So here we are going to first find the composite function of the sum of g. So this is the g function. So let's do this. G of x is equal to 22. Now let's not focus on this for now. So let's find this function. So g of x. So for this one, it's like we are trying to combine the same function. So we write the original function of g is 3x plus 1. Now where there is x is where we are going to put this function for the same g, since it's gg. So 3 open brackets, 3x plus 1 close plus 1. We can now simplify. We can say 3 times 3x is 9x, plus 3 times positive 1 is 3 plus 1, giving us 9x plus 4. So this is the g of x. Now remember, we are given this is equal to 22. So where there is a g of x, we put 22 is equal to 9x plus 4. So we have formed now an equation. So it's a matter of collecting the like terms, then we solve. So the like term, this will shift to this side, giving us 22 minus 4 is equal to 9x. Now 22 take away 4 is 18 is equal to 9x. We divide by 9, we divide by 9. So x is equal to 2. So that's the value of x. Move on to question 13. In a practical examination, Nelly recorded a volume of V of water at 6.4 liters, correct to 1 decimal place. Complete the statement in the answer space below. So whenever we are given a question like this one and a number correct to 1 decimal place, we need to find the absolute error. So what is the absolute error? So whenever it's 1 decimal place, the absolute error is 0.05. So it's a number that you are supposed to commit to memory. So we are going to find the lower bound and the upper bound. 6.4 minus, so to find the lower, you subtract the absolute error. So let's put 0 here, put 0 here. So we know that 0 minus 5 is impossible, so we take 1, we put here, we have a 3 here. 10 minus 5 is 5. 3 minus 0 is 3. 6 minus 0 is 6. So the lower bound is 6.35 is the number that we are going to write here. So that's what you are supposed to do. Then upper bound, we are going to do the reverse, we add. So 0 plus 5 is 5. 4 plus 0 is 4. 6 plus 0 is 6. So this is the number. So it's like a range. We are forming a range where this volume is. So if you look at 6.4, 6.4 is between these two numbers. Then for question B, the actual length of the longest side of the rectangular playing field is 102 meters. A boy measured the same side at 99.8 meters. Calculate the relative error. So relative error is equal to absolute error over true value. Now we are not going to use 0.05 as our absolute error now. Since we have the recorded and the true value, we can find the absolute error. So we'll say absolute error is equal to recorded value or measured value, if you want, we can say that, minus true value. So recorded value, so measured, so recorded is 99.8 minus the true value is 102. So let's do some math. 102 we'll say 0.0 minus 99.0 should be 0.8. So if we take 1 from here, we have, so 10 minus 8 is 2, we have a point here, then here we have a 1. So 101 minus 99, we are going to get 20. So we are going to get not 20, this should just be, if we put here we have, so it should be 2. So the absolute error is 2.2 divided by the true value is 1 or 2. So we can now multiply by 10, also multiply by 10, so this giving us 22 over 1020. So if we reduce, 2 here is 11, 2 here is 504 as our final answer. Right, we move on to question 14. So question 14, we have question A, where we are told to integrate because of the symbol. So whenever you see this symbol, it means you integrate. And this is indefinite integral since we are not given limits. So integration, it's the differential is dy over dx. So this is an integrated a differentiated function. Now we want to take it back. So say y is equal to, what happens to the power? You say x is raised to the power 3. You add a 1 over 3 plus 1. So whatever that you do, this must be also written down here. You repeat the process. So this is power 1 is 2x raised to the power 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1. Then for a constant, you just attach x plus c. So we know that it's 1 over 3 plus c, 1 is 4, times x raised to the power 4, plus c, it's 2 over 2 times x raised to the power 2 plus 3x plus c, that one. So the final answer is 1 over 4 times x to the 4th. We can cancel this, giving us x squared plus c, 3x plus c. See, now for question B, it's under transformation. So in the following diagram, triangles ABC is mapped onto triangle DEF by a single transformation M. Describe fully the transformation M. So if you look at so this is our object, then we have this image. Now if you look at this image, this is a copy of this one exactly. So they are like a flip opposite to each other. So this is the case. Then we are dealing with the reflection. So we need to draw a mirror line. So our mirror line will be this line passing through here. And this is y is equal to x. Why do we say this is our mirror line? Because this distance is equal to this distance. If you count 1, 2, 1, 2. So this distance is also equal to this distance. So that is how you are supposed to do with reflection. Now to describe, we have to say triangle. This is triangle ABC was mapped onto triangle DEF by reflection in the mirror line y is equal to x. So that's all for this video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to share.